Man, Laker fan, hell of a decoy setup right here. Let's go over this real quick. So, as you can see, man, LeBron James is coming hard off that down screen from Kyle Kuzma. And look at where Mason Plumlee is. He's actually supposed to be more up on the defensive end, hedging to help out because Bol Bol, as you see, he's already behind Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis is going to set that screen as well before Bol Bol comes over to contest Kyle Kuzma's shot. Just look at this play, man, and look at the decoy. But this is all set up by LeBron James as well, being the decoy. So nice play by Coach Vogel. Check this out. Boom. Look at that. Look where Mason Plumlee's at. He's already too late. Bobo's already behind Anthony Davis. He has to come over. No matter how long Bobo is, he's not going to be able to contest that shot by Kyle Kuzma. And Kyle Kuzma has a quick trigger as well. Just look how beautiful that is, man. Great decoy and execution by the Lakers for the game winner for Kyle Kuzma. Bam, right in his face. Look at that. Great game winner, man. And great, like I said, decoy setup by Coach Vogel. And then just the teamwork and the camaraderie, man. Bubble Kyle Kuzma has been amazing. It's been a great revelation. And then Mama Kuz there cheering on her man. So it's been awesome.
Yes! Baby, Lakers snap a 3-game losing streak with a win over the Nuggets, 124-121. Shout out to one of my main mans on Twitter, man, J Gamer Huang, with the accurate gif of how Laker Nation feels right now after this win, man. This big win. Welcome to the Lake Show podcast. On today's podcast, I'm going to give my quarter-by-quarter game recap and reaction. Before I start, if it's your first time to the channel and you're looking for a different flavor of Laker content on the tube and you value objectivity, rationale, logic, and unbiased substantive aspect from a student of the game, and you love the Lakers like I do and love to talk Lakers basketball, then you arrived, Laker fam. This is the right channel for you guys. Consider subscribing. And for those of you who are already subs, switch that notification bell to get alerts on the vids that I drop. Now, I gotta ask, before beginning my game recap, should the Lakers start Kyle Kuzma, Laker fam? What do you guys think? I think if he continues to play like he has been playing with active hands, good defense, good energy, and offensively, I say start him. You know, Lakers need that other scoring boost, and the starting lineup when AD is struggling or getting double teamed. And then, of course, when LeBron James is struggling, a lot of teams are going to, copy Toronto's formula in terms of doubling AD and collapsing on them, forcing the Lakers shooters to beat them. I prefer for Kyle Kuzma to come off the bench, but he's been playing so well. I think he should get rewarded. He's been playing very well in this bubble. And so hopefully this is something that's the new norm for Kyle Kuzma. LeBron James said in his post-game interview that the Lakers can't win a championship unless Kyle Kuzma plays good. And of course, that's the obvious. But it's how the Lakers are going to use him and activate him. That's the key. Again, Kuzma is a rhythm player. So if the Lakers feed him in rhythm offsets, he will play better. That's been a consistent theme for Kyle Kuzma, and I said it time in and time out on the channel, man, and on the vids that I've done. Kuzma had this to say as well during his post game interview. Quote, "I'm starting on most teams in the league, and everyone knows it. It just so happens I'm playing behind the two best players in the NBA." Close quote. Kuzma's making a case that he's a starter, no question. I have no doubt in my mind that on a team with his role increase, to maybe let's say the first or third or the second option or so, depending on the situation, he's going to put up 20 to 22 points, similar to what Brandon Ingram's doing probably with New Orleans in an increased role, not being marginalized by LeBron James and or Anthony Davis, having to take a back seat. So, you look at the teams that obviously LeBron James has been on and star players, their numbers have dipped, whether it was Chris Bosh or Dwayne Wade, particularly Chris Bosh and Kevin Love, man, have suffered probably the most, and then Kyle Kuzma now. But it looks like Kyle Kuzma is possibly going to turn the corner, and hopefully they're going to activate him. We shall see, Laker fam. But, he, in his rookie season, playing with Lonzo Ball, which was the best for him in terms of averaging, 18.9 points or something like that, I think it was 17, somewhere around there he averaged in his rookie year or so. Played his best basketball because Lonzo Ball, as I said in the other podcast that I've done, the Lonzo Ball effect, Kyle Kuzma's ultimatum type of thing. And I still believe he's going to get traded. Just my personal perspective. I'm not going to, go back just because it's one game. And, I have some guy in the comment section, forgot his name, some dude claiming that I said some shit that I didn't say. It is what it is. People come out, man. They're trolls. They like to come out. And when players are doing, good or whatever, and then try to put words into your mouth. It is what it is. That's what trolls do on the internet. So, it's funny that they weren't there when the player wasn't doing well. And then they spend all this time trying to formulate arguments or their points because they want to be right about a certain player or whatever. So it is what it is. That person knows who they are. If they're listening, I'm not going to go back and forth and waste my time with that person. I just block them because I don't like people misrepresenting my argument or my views. So it is what it is. I welcome disagreement on this channel, always, as long as you can be respectful, cogent, and actually address what I actually say. That individual claims that I said that Lonzo Ball was the best amongst the Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, etc., the Laker youngins in the past. I asked him for a timestamp. He still has yet to provide a timestamp. Again, I don't mind people challenging me or attempting to come on my channel and having issues with my points. Everybody has an opinion, but I deal with facts. I deal with logic and rationale. And I deal with empirical data and substance. So when I ask somebody to provide a timestamp for me and they have a dispute, they should be able to easily do that. Nowhere did I say that Lonzo Ball was going to be the best or is the best amongst those three players. What I did state is that Lonzo Ball is probably the most impactful player amongst the three players. And what I mean by that is that it's not necessarily that he's the best player, but what I mean by that is that he could play on multiple ends. The only issue and deficiency, obviously, is his inability to score at a consistent high level. Brandon Ingram, of course, and Kyle Kuzma could do that. That's a no-brainer. Everybody fucking knows that. But, I welcome stuff like that. It's not a big deal. What I don't like, again, is that people misrepresent what I say and they put words into my mouth. That's not going to be tolerated. I'll just block people because I don't have the time to deal with trolls. It is what it is. But I welcome disagreements. That's part of human nature. Everybody's going to not agree with certain things, and I don't want people agreeing with everything I say anyway. Just if you're going to come and challenge me or dispute what I say, please dispute what I actually say, and then we can examine it together. And then maybe I'm wrong, and I'll correct my stance on that. So. Anyway, that's how I operate the channel. The thing about Lonzo is that he understood how Kyle Kuzma plays. He understands as a passer and a distributor how to find guys in their sweet spots and within rhythm. And that's why Kyle Kuzma played so well in terms of his 3-point percentage. And I pointed that out in the video. Please examine the video to that individual. I pointed it out objectively and I utilized the nuance within my argument. Not just stating from the statistical aspect or whatever, but I provided that as data, so examine it. But it's a big leap, no doubt, for Kyle Kuzma to go from 18 or so, his best year as a player with the Laker youngins, to 25 or so a game. That's a huge leap, man. People just don't. They look at stats and they don't understand player roles. They don't understand how coaches use them and don't use them, and the dynamic in the team. They don't understand that stuff because, again, no disrespect, fans watching, they just see numbers and things of that nature. But people like myself and students or people that actually play the game, they understand that it takes a high level of nuance. It takes an understanding and growth pattern to get up and ascend to that level for him to score those 25 points a game. It's not just easily 6 points or whatever, or 9 points. It doesn't happen like that. It takes a mental shift, and it depends upon the dynamic of the team and his role and what he's willing to do and his growth within that pattern. But on a championship team, can he be the third option? Hopefully. We'll see. Come the playoffs, that's his opportunity. He has the talent, but I believe, as he's alluding to it, it's how the Lakers use him behind AD and LeBron James. Coach Vogel needs to implement more offensive sets and use him in rhythm off the ball. That's the issue. Players got to be used off the ball and within rhythm. That goes for Danny Green, Quinn Cook, and so on. I guarantee you, if you go back, and I tell people to do this, go back and watch Quinn Cook on the Golden State Warriors. He played very well. That team has a high level of nuance in terms of ball movement, body movement, moving the ball side to side, and having using players off of ball movement. That's one of Quinn Cook's best attributes, is his ability to move off the ball and create spacing, because teams are going to collapse off of players that are coming off of curls and ball screens. And then same thing for Danny Green with Toronto and the San Antonio Spurs. So those three players, Kyle Kuzma, Danny Green, Quinn Cook, they're all rhythm players, and they need to have sets for them. And the Lakers need to run more sets so that AD and LeBron James are not playing playground basketball, and the defense is going to collapse on them, and it's going to be too predictable against high IQ elite teams such as the Raptors, Celtics. The list goes on. Whether it's the Rockets as well, in terms of their talent, they've gotten better defensively, and the list goes on, man. So it's not going to be easy to beat teams with a high level of scouting reports and focus play, man. Come to playoffs, things are upped. It is what it is. So anyway, on to my game by game, or rather quarter by quarter game recap. First quarter, AD starts off with a bucket off a down screen in the post with a floater. Then McGee with the score from AD. Good ball movement by the Lakers overall this game. The Lakers start off 4-0. McGee picks up 2 quick fouls, man, for the Lakers in 3 to 4 minutes of play into this game. McGee has to learn how to, not just use his hands and learn how to play straight up in terms of blocking shots. He goes for a lot of block shots. If he plays straight up and utilizes his length, he may be able to make players miss, as opposed to trying to go for block shots and jumping a lot. So he has to stay disciplined on the defensive end. And then AD starting off really well with 8 points, man. Overall, this game, very active. I love the fact that he was very assertive and moving without the ball as well to get in position. 4 for 4, 8 points from the field. AD being aggressive, going to the cup. It's good to see him, from coming from, an MIA position last couple of games, man. Showing good activity. And the key was for him in this game overall being quicker in his moves as opposed to waiting to react on the offensive end for Anthony Davis. So good adjustment by him. Lakers getting beat on several backdoors, and that was a theme throughout this game actually. Lakers not opening up on the defensive end to the man in their ball, seeing the ball in their man. They have to do a better job at seeing them on their man in the ball when playing the now defense on cutters. So Nuggets, take the lead at the 5-minute mark on a Michael Porter Jr. layup. Man, that kid is so smooth and so talented. The Nuggets, man, are so deep and have a very, very good young talent crop of players, man, coming up. So, 18 to 15 out of Michael Porter Jr. layup. And then LBJ taking too long to create offense this game. To begin the game, moving slow up the court, operating late in the shot clock, over dribbling, Fam, this is another reason why I talk about Rajon Rondo and why he's missed. LBJ with 2 turnovers. LBJ, before being subbed out, turned it over, which led to a 21-15 lead for the Nuggets with the Michael Porter Jr. 3-point shot in transition. LBJ has to learn how to move the ball faster, advance the ball. That's where Lonzo was good, of course, when he was on the team. He would advance the ball very quickly, whether it wasn't just necessarily with a dribble. That's what I liked about it. But Lonzo would advance the ball quickly to the outlet, and then things will ensue. So that's why Kyle Kuzma was good as well, because of the fact that he was able to operate early in the shot clock, and that's within rhythm. That's his type of style of play. Whether it's off the ball, or whether it's quick and quick action in terms of his offensive arsenal. That's how Kyle Kuzma plays. But he has to learn also, LeBron James, to play off the ball and get his ass in the post more, man. Just get in the post. Play similar to his second year with Miami, man. That was his best year as a pro, in my opinion. That LeBron James overall, man, potent in the offense, on the offensive end in the post, passing and facilitating out of the post as opposed to dribbling from the top of the key, trying to create offense. And he's having trouble, man, going past players when he gets that switch, because he's 30 plus, 35 years old. So he doesn't have the legs anymore, the speed, man, to get past a lot of players. You can see it. So that's why LeBron James used to go to the post more to preserve his legs. And then Dion Waiters comes in off the bench with 5 quick points to close the deficit. and tied up 23 to 23 sometime within the game with a nice behind the back dribble rather, and then leading to a layup at the 3+ minute mark. And then nice pass by Kyle Kuzma to AD with a hard flush at the 42nd mark, man. What a great pass by Kyle Kuzma off a dribble penetration to find AD for the one-handed lob jam. Hell of a play by both of them. And then Lakers end the quarter on a 13-2 run. Deion Waiters 7 points off the bench, was also a little more quicker in the offensive end. That's why he was able to get to a groove and shoot, I think, 5 for 8 or something like that off the bench. Played very well off the bench. And then Anthony Davis with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 6 for 8 from the field. Very efficient game for Anthony Davis. Lakers lead going into the second quarter, up 6, 31-25. So much for the lack of offense. Just watch the media flip as usual, man. Like hamburger patties, they're so quick to go with narratives. That's what they fucking do, to try to sell narratives, man. Reggie Miller the whole time complaining about, or not complaining, but trying to overdrive the selling point of, like a bad salesman trying to sell you something, sell you bullshit with the Lakers' bad offense and this and that. It is what it is. They're gonna flip as usual. It's not the playoffs. Then if it's the playoffs, then we're gonna see issues. If it's like that, then yeah, Chicken Little, the sky's falling, whatever. But one thing, one thing that stood out to me was the Lakers' energy to the start of this game, their assertiveness and their ball movement. Other than when LBJ was handling the ball was sticking more with him, but when he came out, you notice a difference. There's a discernment in the ball moving faster from what I've observed. But nonetheless, great first quarter and great start by the Lakers. And then second quarter, Denver takes the lead to start from LBJ's sloppiness handling the ball on a Bol Bol pair of free throws. And then Lakers struggling to start versus his zone, man, by the Nuggets, getting the ball in the middle. And also Dwight has to, know his personnel and who he's defending. He kept not picking up Bol Bol full court or meeting him, at half court when Bol Bol was advancing the ball coming up and advancing to start the Nuggets offense early. Was in the open court. That's Bol Bol, how he plays. Dwight kept retreating to the paint, not staying with Bol Bol in terms of meeting him at the half court or the 3-point line, and just letting him kind of waltz in for whether it was a good entry pass and then the defense will be late to rotate over. But Bol Bol is a different type of big man. That brother is built in the laboratory. He can do it all. Has a guard in that 7'2" body. The dude is fluid and nimble despite his size. Yeah, like I said, he's built. He's a freak of nature, man. Crazy how talented the young brother is, and I look forward to his development. The Nugget fans should be very, very excited about his future, and overall just to that team, man. They got a young, great crop of talent. Lakers attacking the zone better, moving the ball. They got to do better moving their bodies. That's the issue in terms of Lakers reacting to double teams and zone defense. A lot of teams are going to utilize that type of defensive schematics versus them, so they have to move the ball in the middle as quick as possible. That's what's going to beat those type of defensive schematics is ball movement and body movement. First and foremost, ball movement, because no one's going to move faster than the ball throwing. It is what it is. But 2 layups by LBJ and then Waiters, then followed by a Markieff Morris left corner 3 to recapture the lead in the second quarter, 42 to 39 at the 7+ minute mark. And then LBJ takes the lead with an N1 layup from a give and go pass by Kyle Kuzma to LBJ. Lakers go up 55 to 53 at the 3+ minute mark. And then LBJ, man, good last 5 minutes of the second quarter. Had 12, I believe, in the second quarter. Hit a few threes, and then got to the boards. But LBJ did not look good to start the game. And then when LBJ's looking to score, Laker fan, and is more aggressive and assertive, he's much more dangerous than focusing on facilitating. That's the LBJ that the Lakers need, man. The scorer that scored 32,000 points, not the quote unquote pass first, alleged pass first player. He's not that player, man. That narrative by the media, trying to compare him to Magic Johnson and this and that is bullshit. LeBron James is born to score the basketball, and he's great at it, so he might as well just focus on that. And then secondary should be his passing. He's a very good passer, but that's not really his game. So he's just gonna he's just gonna nullify himself and take himself out of the game by focusing on passing, and then that's gonna allow teams to kind of double AD. So he has to be assertive, and that's going to open things up more for him in AD, and vice versa. If things are opening up for AD, then that's going to open things up for LeBron James, and then everybody else will fall into place. Lakers finished the first half on an AD follow-up tip dunk from a Kuzma miss, man. AD was very active, to get that tip dunk and layup to close the first half, or the first half going into the second half up 64-59. Michael Porter Jr. had 13 points for the Nuggets, and then Millsap 11 points and 3 assists for Denver as well. And then for the Lakers, LBJ with 13 points, 5 assists. Davis with 17 points, 6 rebounds for the first half. And then going on to the second half, the third quarter. Wow, it's a miracle, man. The sky is not falling, Chicken Little. Oh, man, fucking Danny Green finally hits an open jump shot. Wow. At the 8+ minute mark, man. I've been hard on the brother because he's been bricking a lot. But it's good to see him hit some open shots. And he was actually, in fairness to him, he was actually pretty solid, and I would say very instrumental towards the Lakers winning, hitting 3-point shots down the stretch of this game when the Lakers were kind of in a dry spell offensively, and Denver was making a run. But and then Murray, though to start this game, he wasn't as good. It was more Jokic and other players, but Jamal Murray, man, started to heat up in the second half, torching Danny Green offensively. Hit a couple of jumpers on him, and then had a spin post move around him. If Danny Green's not hitting open shots and he can't even defend, man, there's no point in having him on the court. But hell of a block by LBJ on Paul Millsap on the offensive rebound, and a layup at the 4-minute mark that LBJ erased completely. And then beautiful ball movement by the Lakers, keeping Nuggets scrambling with a Morris 3-point shot at the 4+ minute mark. And then Kuzma, man, nice steal at the 2+ minute mark from an inbound pass that he forced into a turnover. It was just like the activity by Kyle Kuzma, man. That's what I said when Alan Sliwa of Lakers Talk asked, "What do you want to see from Kuz as a starter?" I stated that I want to see activity and just the little things, the intangibles, active hands, playing defense, and then the rest will come. And again, I always say things come to the aggressor. If you're focusing on trying to be the third option so bad, you're going about it the wrong way. But if you're scratching and clawing and do whatever you can, then things will follow, man. Sometimes people will place themselves in the wrong place mentally and have to let things come to them, and then things will naturally follow because, again, things go to the aggressor. And then Kuzma got back-to-back steals as well, but in a transition bucket, 83-80, and then another steal. So Kyle Kuzma was very good this whole game, man, and particularly in the second half. Kyle Kuzma's activity was fantastic this game, particularly within the second half, like I mentioned. With very active hands and great energy, Kuzma had a 9-point quarter in the third quarter. Lakers' biggest lead, I believe, was 7 that quarter. However, the Nuggets, I think they went on an 8-1 run, fueled by Bol Bol and Morris, who hit a pair of shots. Lakers and Nuggets tied going into the fourth quarter, 88-88. Lakers did a poor job, I believe, controlling the boards at that end. Plumlee, had a few offensive rebounds. AD has to do a better job finding him and keeping him off the boards. Very active big man, high energy big man. Lakers got to do a better job just keeping players off the board like that and know their personnel. And then fourth quarter, LBJ with a terrible 3-point shot at the 9+ minute mark to give the Nuggets a lead by 93-92 on a nice dime outlet pass by Bol Bol on an LBJ long miss shot. And then LBJ ties it with a nice 3-point assist, or a nice 3-point shot rather, from an assist 1-on-1 to 1-on-1 from AD behind the screen. And then Dozier takes back the lead for 3 for Denver, 104-101. It's kind of going back and forth in the fourth quarter. And then Lakers key stops down the stretch with AD block. And then a turnover at the 50-second mark by Morris for the Nuggets, who dribbled baseline, and then I believe it was Deion Waiters who was trailing him, and then kind of bodying him up and kind of forced him to fall down, and he was on the baseline, so they turned it over. And then from there, which led to an LBJ N1 layup at the 45-second mark, I believe. Lakers struggled versus Denver's depth, man. Dozier, Morris, Bol Bol, Plumlee, pretty much the Denver Nuggets, second, third stringers are struggling against. So I credit them, man. I do believe the Lakers are kind of taking it easy, but they got to stop doing that, because there's going to be teams that they take it easy and it's going to come to bite them back in the ass. And I get the whole narrative, that Reggie Miller was stating, not just with their lack of offense, quote unquote, but also supposedly that we're going to be scared to play Portland and this and that. And again, they have the second best backcourt in the NBA. When healthy, of course, is Clay and Steph Curry, but they have short-term memory, man, because the Lakers took it to Portland twice, and I was there for both live games in Portland when they just easily beat the Portland Trailblazers like it was nothing. They have no answer for Anthony Davis when they had Carmelo on them, not Nurkic, I'm sorry, some of their big men, Hassan Whiteside, etc. They can't guard Anthony Davis, and they can't guard LeBron James either. So they have no answer. We know what CJ and Dame are going to do, but they take their teammates out of the game with the fact that they chuck up a lot of shots. Between them, you're looking at 40 plus shots, 50 shots, so that takes their team out of the game. But I got to give it to Denver, man. They done a good job. They were taking it to the Lakers mostly in the inside and then outside, but the Lakers withstand their depth with Danny Green, to his credit, like I mentioned earlier, hitting some key three-point shots to keep the Lakers in the game down the end, and then LBJ with some key shots as well going to the rim, and then Kuzma, man, hits the game winner over Bol Bol. Kuzma, man, has been on fire. The brother has shown out, man. Props to him. Let's get to the player stats. LBJ, 29 points, 12 assists, 5 turnovers. LBJ has to do a better job at not forcing the offense and operating late in the shot clock. But other than that, great comeback and great response for LBJ to help get the Lakers this W against the Nuggets. And then AD, man, great comeback, great game for him as well. After shooting only 14 shots or less than 14 shots the last game, and with him under 10 points, I believe he had. This game, he had 27 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks and 3 steals, man. Hell of a game, a stat sheet stuffer for AD. That's the AD that we want to see, man. Assertive and aggressive from the start. And then Kuzma, man, game ball goes to Kuzma with 25 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and the game winner. Like I said, Bubble Kuzma has been on Super Saiyan mode, looking great. Props to him, man, with playing defense, bringing great energy. And like I said, if he focuses on the little things, good things will come to Kuzma. And thus, that's been the fruit that he's bear, man, with his focus on the other things that matter. And that's what happens when you do things when you do things and things are not going well for you. It's really how you respond to it and your mindset. And he's showing good maturity, so props to him. Deion Waiters, 12 points, 3 assists, solid off the bench. Danny Green, man. Hell, 11 points, 3 for 5 from 3. About damn time he made open shots. Shit, goddamn. Oh, man, thank the flying spaghetti monster, man. It is what it is. Shit. Hey, props to him, man. It is what it is. Shout out to Danny Green for making open shots. Shit, that's all it takes, man. Just make some open shots and try on defense and defend. So hopefully that opens things up for him and his confidence grows going into the playoffs. But team stats, Lakers as a team shot 48% from 3, 14 of 29, shot 54% from the field. Hey, to the pundits that are crying about the Lakers offense, just watch, man. The defense is going to turn things into offense, and things are going to start to happen, and they're going to start to flip like hamburger patties. The Reggie Millers, The other people, that have been talking a lot of shit. That's what happens. They wait for 1 game, 2 game, and then they flip. That's what happens with people, man. They're just classic trolls. They just like to go along with the narratives to talk shit, and they're not consistent. But the team had 28 assists on 10 turnovers. Very efficient game for the Lakers, by the way, man. This is probably one of the better games, I would say. Probably the best game overall since the NBA restart against the good up-and-coming young Nuggets. That team is very, very deep, man, with a lot of talent. I believe they're one all-star player away, and if I'm them, I would try to put Gary Harris, maybe a few of their other players, maybe a Michael Porter Jr., possibly, or maybe not include him, maybe Bol Bol, but they have so much talent they may not want to give away. But if I'm them, man, I would move Jamal Murray to the 2 guard, and then look for an all-star point guard that could facilitate and give players, get Jokic the ball, because a lot of times Jamal Murray likes to nut up and make dumb decisions. And it was key during that Spurs series, man, when he was taking dumb shots, forcing the offense, just missing Jokic in the post. Jokic needs to be the focal point on the offensive end, man. And having a point guard, even if it was like someone like Chris Paul, imagine if Chris Paul, being older, was on the Nuggets team, man. They would be so much more potent offensively, but they need a point guard like that can facilitate, and that's a pass first type of guard, but it has the ability also to take over and command his presence. So I think somebody like Lonzo Ball, in my opinion, will be a perfect fit for Mike Malone and the Nuggets, because he'll speed up the tempo, he'll pass the ball, he'll get things going, and then he could defend as well. So I think somebody like that. The issue, of course, is his inability to hit jump shots if they choose a double Jokic and stuff like that. But that's why he put a lot of shooters and scorers around him to kind of nullify that, until he can kind of get his offense going. But that's just my perspective. But great game for the Lakers, man. Great win. Nugget fans should be happy for their young core, man. They're going to be a tough up-and-coming team. I could see them being similar to the Trailblazers when they had Brandon Roy before he had knee issues with Greg Oden, etc., in my opinion. But anyway, ending Laker fam, I want to say, man, thanks for the subscribers sticking through with my channel, man. And for the newcomers, welcome. Consider subscribing, man. I'll be dropping videos and game recaps as long as I could. I work 2 jobs, so I'm trying to do what I need to do, man, and stay on my grind, man. And hopefully the Lakers can win a championship this year, man. That's the goal. That concludes the podcast, though. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'm Tony on the Lake Show podcast, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, Laker Nation.